Hello everyone and welcome to 2024. Yes, 2023 came to an end just yesterday, and finally we are in January 1st, 2024, the start of a new year. And that means the day has finally arrived. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series bi-monthly marathon, not monthly marathon, bi-monthly. So what it is every other month I will be playing uh of a mainline Phoenix Wright series. Let me rephrase that again. Every other month I will be playing a Ace Attorney game, mainline only. I'll get to spin-offs at some other time, but right now I'm gonna be playing the first, all six mainline games every other month. So technically, it won't last long. Like I've even matched, I took a look at a spoiler-free guide, and knowing, since the first stage is basically will be the first part. When we get to other stages, I'm gonna divide it into parts, like the investigation and then the trial, and then there's more investigation. Hopefully it won't be that long. It's gonna be 16 parts in total for this first game. At least I think. The one I won't be tackling is the fifth case, which is Rise from the Ashes. That I'm going to save for when we get to Apollo Justice. So yeah, this one's gonna be a long one, but that might take it's gonna be in the I don't know when, but like I said, it's every single no, not it's every other month. So it can't be all about Phoenix Wright the whole year. So no way on that, because I want to focus on other games right now. So all right, so this so this introduction has gone too long. So without further ado, let's get started with episode 1, the first Turnabout. And yeah, keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. Here we go. Put down the volume here. Darn it. Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I gotta find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. And yeah, there's our crime scene, so wow. This is gonna be a very long let's play. Like I said, it's 16 videos, kind of basically the same thing as the Super Chinese series. That's how long it took me to finish. All right, so we are in the lobby in the court. So let's get started. Notice that by the text in blue, it means that he's doing an inner monologue. So keep that in mind. Boy, am I nervous. Right? Oh, hiya, Chief. Phew, I'm glad I made it. Oh, be aware that there will be flashes, so I apologize. Those with sensitive eyes, keep that in mind. When I played the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on the PC, they give you the option to remove those flashes, because trust me, they are so annoying. I mean, I know they're supposed to be part of the game, but they are so annoying. Phew, I'm glad I made it in time. On time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you. And your client as well. Thanks. Actually, It's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. More on that as we progress through the story. In the anime, they explain it very much in detail. So I recommend you watch the anime if you don't want to play the games. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Isn't that your client screaming over there? Yeah, that's him. Death, despair. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm choosing not to scream so loud. It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick. Hey, oh, hey. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Person responsible for your girlfriend's death. Oh, sorry. It's in the question. The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. Yeah, notice that there will be red text, meaning clues. Excuse me. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Elementary, actually, that is. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself into trouble. In trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. In the anime, the English dub, Phoenix is voiced by Eric Vale, the same voice actor who voiced Trunks in the Dragon Ball series. And in Japanese, he's voiced by the same voice actor who voiced Gaara from the Naruto series. So, it's just a little tidbit. Alright, so we are now in the courtroom. Oh wow, so yeah, I should get these give the image like a kind of a, how should I put this, like a clear view. Maybe I'll do that in time. Whenever I see the judge and whenever he speaks, I get this voice, the Jon Stewart voice by Phil Lamar when he voices Jon Stewart in the Justice League animated series. But anyways, the court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clear and concisely. I think I said it right. There's some words that I'm having trouble pronouncing. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Let me switch screens here. Yeah, since I'm using an emulator called the Desmum, it gives me the ability to use hotkeys. So all I have to do is push the page down button on the keyboard, and I can switch between screens, which will come in handy. Normally I would have done this evenly, even screens, but actually this is a bit better. All right, so let's state the defendant's name. Well, of course, it's Larry Butts. Oh, switch. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you, and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Phew, I know this one. I'm glad I read the case report cover so many times. It's... Wait, uh-oh. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course. I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the defendant's name is listed in the court record. Just touch the court record button at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. I'm begging you. Alright, so let's switch to the touch screen so I can show you the court record. Excuse me? Yes, this is your evidence. Basically, the evidence is your key to winning to winning all cases. In later installments, the profiles will also act as your evidence. So as of this game, this is your only source for evidence. So right here we have the attorney's badge here, and here we have Cindy's autopsy report. So we're gonna have a read here. Cause of death: loss of blood due to blunt trauma. The time of death was July 31st. Time between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. Alright. So let's go back. Let me switch. And I'll go back. Alright. Let's hear your answer. Who is the victim in this case? Cinder block. Can't believe they put it in there. Alright, so it's Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was, well, hit with a blunt object that we just saw in the autopsy report. She wasn't poisoned or strangled. If there was any strangling, you would have seen in the cutscene. You would have seen like choking marks or something, like either a rope or something. Alright, so hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. I'm gonna get this out of the way. The game takes place in Japan. No joke. When they localized this game, they completely changed it to Los Angeles, California. Trust me, you don't see anything that resembles an area in LA at all. So, because trust me, in later games, we're going to be visiting places that you don't see in California at all. But they did it for reasons. So, To me, it'll always be Japan, straight up. So, alright, so let's continue on here. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Alright, we have our next piece of evidence, the murder weapon, which is the statue of the thinker. When you look at it. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. She ain't joking. As I said before, the evidence is your key to winning all your cases. Sometimes we'll get to that in a sec. Touch the court record button to check the court record frequently. Yeah, you have to. Just to make sure you might forget stuff. Yeah, that tends to happen. That happened to me during my first playthrough of this when I had my DS Lite. Sadly, which I don't have anymore. That's why I have a Nintendo 2DS XL. Don't get me wrong. I liked my Nintendo DS Lite, but the thing was, it had a knack for, the hinges were the problem. Yeah, the Fat DS and the DSi and above didn't have that problem. Just the DS Lite. A good system, like I said, don't get me wrong, but it just has hinge problems. Because there were times, sometimes it was my fault, I would accidentally drop my DS Lite. So, yeah, that was my fault there. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. I just saw like a bit of Larry's left cheek, no, his right cheek, kind of like he was trying to twitch. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? If y'all read both stories, y'all know that. I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my calls, my phone calls, or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you described is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it, lies! I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. And we have our new piece of evidence, the passport. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Lifestyle with no E. Those who live in the Houston area, y'all know what I'm talking about. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? Yeah, it's... I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but just in case, I'll switch. So we get our choices of wait and see what happens, stop him, or stop him from answering. It really doesn't matter. One other thing I forgot to mention is this feature right here. When you pause the game, it'll suspend what you were doing. So if you want, you're able to see both decisions play out. So basically, it's marking your save state in a way. Just in case if you mess up, you can always reset the game and repeat the process. Alright, so I'm gonna say stop him from answering. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to the case. Oof. Well, that kind of shut his mouth. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Oh, this guy is funny out of his mind. Well, out of his mind in a funny way. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did. And maybe I didn't. Oh man, this... moving on. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Again, you're allowed to pick the choices. If you want to see both choices play out, to just before you enter the select your answer. I mean, well, after or when it appears, you can actually pause the game, save it, reload it, and then you can replay both answers. So I'm just gonna have him answer honestly then. I know. I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth? Yeah, I was there. I went. Order! Well, sorry. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm playing the DS version. I'm not playing the one on the 3DS though. I want to. Well, I don't mind. But the thing is, with the 3DS version, in terms of recording, I have to put it at 30 frames per second. So, leave it in the comments if y'all want me to continue playing the DS version, uh, it'll still be it'll be at 60 frames per second. However, if I play the 3DS version, the video will be at 30 frames. So, if y'all want me to play the 3DS version, that's fine. If y'all want me to continue playing the DS version, it's fine as well. So, leave it in the comments, or I think I'll. No, never mind. Just leave it in the comments. Order! Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Sorry. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. Wow, that guy looks nervous. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I have played this game before. Normally, I would have done post commentary on this, but I'd rather just play this thing live, rec live, or in this case, record live. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions. Is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers. Yes. Yeah, it's a complete giveaway. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Alright, here we go with the witness testimony. Here we go. Oh, for the record, when we get to the cross-examination, I won't reread the testimony. I'm only gonna read the testimony one time. Okay, so here we go. Witness's account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. 1 a.m. 1 p.m. you say. About to say 1 a.m. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. That is actually true. Cordless phones don't work without a power source. Old school telephones like the ones in the 90s or the 80s, 70s, well, back then, they don't require power source for some reason. All you needed was a phone line, and that's basically it. No power source was needed. If I'm wrong about this, I apologize, and y'all can post your comments there. But yeah, that's how it was back then. Before the era of cordless phones, we had just regular telephones that only needed a connection from the phone line. That's it. Cordless phones, while better, they actually need a power source just to keep it on. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your per usual. All right, we have our next piece of evidence, the blackout record. Now, let's take a look at that at that little record anyways. So let me switch here. Okay, here we go. Blackout record. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Alright, so that's it. And a bit of remember, the time of death was between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. And let's see, the passport, we'll get to that later. But the only pieces of evidence we're going to concentrate right now are the autopsy and the blackout record. But more on that later. Alright, so let's switch back. And continue on. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, right. Yeah, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Can't help it. Okay. Touch the court record button and point out the contradictions in the testimony. Alright, here we go. Let the cross-examination begin. Alright, so we have two types of things that we can do. One, certain parts of the testimony can be like in any part of the testimony you're allowed to press the witness for more info concerning that piece of testimony. There will be times where new stuff is added and the judge will tell the witness to add that to your testimony. And then we have the right side, present. If there's a piece of testimony that doesn't fit, you go to your evidence. You go to your court record, choose the right evidence, and basically rub it in his face with an objection. However, if you get it wrong, you lose. You get penalized. Hence those 5 exclamation points there. You get 5 chances to present the correct evidence. For the record, they do not come back. They don't get replenished. So you have to make it count no matter what. Alright. So let's see. So he's a door-to-door newspaper salesman going around apartments selling subscriptions. He says that he saw a door. Oh, let me go back. Yeah, you can go back between back and forth within the testimony. So yeah, what Frank Sala did was he was going door to door selling newspaper subscriptions when he saw someone fleeing an apartment. Thinking that he was in a hurry, he left the door half open. So basically what he did was, figuring it was strange, he goes in, looks inside, and sees the victim already dead. Unfortunately, he was going to call the police, but he was too scared to go in. and he figured he'd go call the police from an outside line. Well, because the cordless phone was not working due to what we just heard right now was a blackout. So he went to a nearby park to use a public phone. Unfortunately, he says that he remembers the time. It was 1 p.m. However, this does not fit. So we gotta present. So yeah, the time of death was 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. This guy says it was 1 p.m. when he saw the body. The moment Larry left, and he went in and he noticed Cindy Stone's body there. So it was 1 p.m. But the autopsy report says it's 4 p. It was the time of death was between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. There are two ways to present it. Notice next to it you see the Y button. You hold it and you yell out objection on the microphone. Now normally I would do that, but I can't. So I don't know why my microphone doesn't work when I say objection. So no, because I don't have the microphone feature on. So if I say objection, nothing happens. So all I gotta do is just press the A button. Oops, sorry. I think or the X button. There it goes. Yeah, either hold the Y button and say it with the microphone, or just press the X button. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. I mean, look at him. He's so nervous. Mr. Sawit? Why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Wow, he is old school. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out the contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. True. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait! I remember now. Sorry, I was about to cough there. Would you care to give your testimony again? Alright, so apparently he has to testify again. I'll be right back. I need to get a bottle of water. So yeah, before I started recording, I should always have a bottle of water ready. So, but since I didn't, it's gonna be my fault. Because my mouth may dry. Because after all, this is a visual novel and it's too much dialogue. So I'll be right back. So, cut. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got my bottle of water ready. Oh, yeah. I took a drink of it and I almost spilled the bottle. Alright. So we have our next testimony, the time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the from the TV. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. And that guy's really nervous. Yeah, I'm just giving off my opinions on this. But yeah, I have played all of the series, so I know what to expect. Well, mostly from first cases. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. Alright, here we go. So basically, what happened is that he heard the time. He heard a voice saying the time coming from the quote TV. But the clock said it was 3 hours off. So I guess basically he guessed that the victim was watching a video of a taped program. That's why he thought it was 1 p.m. But yeah, I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. How? Tell me. Let's take a look at the blackout record. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. Noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. So, how do you explain that? How could she have been watching a video? Excuse me, oh my goodness. How could she have been watching a video when there was a blackout from noon to 6 p.m.? Let's find out. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this? Mr. Saw it? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Point. In a way, he has that Professor Quirrell type of nervousness. Alright. Excuse me. Oh, I apologize if that was a loud cough. Well, wait, I remember now. Oh, sorry, I went through there very quickly. Mr. Sawit? The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony. Once more, please. Oh, I forgot to mention this one thing. There is no jury. That wasn't introduced until later. Yeah, so in these courtrooms you won't see any jury. You'll see like the people of the court or something, but no jury. Alright, here we go. The next testimony is hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. With attitude. Hearing the time. Here we go. Now. Basically, oh yeah, by the way, there's two versions of the testimony song. What you heard earlier was the first one, and now you're hearing the second one. That means it should be the final. It could be the final testimony of this case. All right. Actually, I didn't hear at the time. He said he saw it. He said that there was a table clock at the apartment. How did he know that there was a table clock there? Because if you remember seeing it, like if you saw his memory there, okay, never mind. He said he saw a table clock, which was the murder weapon used to kill the victim. Oops, yeah, I think I went too far there. Now find the contradiction. All right. So yeah, a table clock. So yeah, he said he saw a table clock, but the thing is, my fault there. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, the L button is to press the witness, and the R button is for to present evidence. Okay, so let's present. So yeah, we have this statue here. Now notice a statue in the shape of a thinker. It's rather heavy. So he's talking about the murder weapon. So does he mean the statue? So wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was the statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? I'm a lawyer. What? Why would you ask something like that? That's what lawyers do. If they find evidence, like if they see something wrong with the testimony, they present evidence. That's what they do. Well, some of the things they do. Just answer the question, Mr. Saw It. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may... Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. And it doesn't look like a clock. I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony? Oh yeah, of course. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because... Well, yeah, the only way he would have known that this thing was a clock is if he actually went inside. But the thing was, he said in his testimony that he never went inside because he saw Miss Stone's body, you know, dead, and he was frightened. He was scared to go in there. So how would Frank Solid knew that the Thinker statue was a clock? The only way he would have known is if he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, his theory has struck my attention. Tell me more. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Saw it? The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. I apologize if I didn't say that right. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard saw... Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. And thus, Mr. Frank saw it throw his toupee onto Phoenix's face. Shut up, I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn, give him death. In the anime, you actually hear, Larry complain. Order! Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. You better think it through carefully. Yes, Your Honor. The sound of Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply try sounding the clock, because remember, earlier it was basically explained, like, if you twist the head, it'll say the time out loud. So ask the neighbors, examine the clock's batteries, which well, nah, just kidding. But anyways, try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? For the record, Larry Butts was the one that did the voice for the thinker clock. So, Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time is it now? It's 11:25. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely this discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about? While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Darn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot allow you to indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Frank Solid. I came all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. They treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Solid. Mia. I mean, Chief. For the record, we don't hear her voice until the third game. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking outside of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow, and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right? Yeah, it's tough trying to say both. Right. Yeah. Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Well, yeah. There's a little piece of evidence that we haven't even used yet. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let him have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. And thus we have our last piece of evidence that we haven't used at all. The passport. But first, let's take a look at it. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. The next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her head dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Solid? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Oh no, he had rabies. Order! Order, I say. Oh wow. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your client, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. And thus we've solved the case. And with that, the court is adjourned. And that's it. We've solved the case. But now we get to the nitty-gritty stuff. Who is Frank Solid? It turns out that Frank Solid was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Solid let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching for her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Solid grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. And that's it. That's basically the whole story of Mr. Frank Solid. He was a burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check for people that weren't in their homes. That's who he was, a burglar. So now we're in the lobby. Phew, I still can't believe we won. Right? Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry? You're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone. Good. Wait, no, I mean, bad. Bad, bad, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever. Game over, man. Game over. Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. I'm sorry, I just find that very funny. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts. Innocent. It's Larry, but close enough. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one that got you off the hook. Oh hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. The fresh maker. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you wanna just cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you. In her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Right. Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about it? Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? It's because during Cindy Sohn's trip to Paris, she carried this statue with her the entire time. No kidding. In the anime, there's actually a photo of her taking a selfie, I think, in New York. I think it was I think it was a different picture. No, it's because it says Paris. Yeah, it was Paris. I apologize. It was Paris, and she took a selfie of herself with the statue, and then behind the scenes, I think it was the Eiffel Tower or something. So yeah, let's present the Thinker statue. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? Where'd you get that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying, excuse me, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? Miss Faye, are you seducing me? And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay me, unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Why? Well, we'll find out in the next case. And thus we unlock the next episode, Turnabout Sisters. Alright, so I'm going to call it a part right here. Next time we tackle on the next case, Turnabout Sisters. What's going to be in store? Well, y'all just going to have to find out as we dig into the next chapter in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So, until then everyone, take care and God bless. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and share with all your family and friends. If you're enjoying my content, consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to click that bell to receive notifications for new videos. Take care, and God bless.